Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time zone, and welcome to Moral Compass 101. I'll first and foremost take this opportunity, this being a Father's Day, to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day and to acknowledge that times without number, these are the men who answers the demanding call of fatherhood with passion, diligence, and immense love for their children. May the Almighty God continue to bless you, to increase your years of great health and wealth, riches and happiness, plus abundant love, that you may share it with your children. Having said that, I'll please request you to comment so that we can interact, to subscribe so that you can get edified, to write and share so that we can disseminate knowledge. In our last topic, I introduced a topic, namely time is of essence, and I went ahead to define time. I also said that just like money, time does not come with character, and the character of time is incumbent on the beholder. This brings us to our today's topic, which is time, a free and variable equity for human equality. Today, we shall go further and explore a person's ingenious character and substantiate my claim that indeed time is a dependent variable that's dependent on the character of the beholder. Your dire quest or need to achieve impeccable time management skills will demand diligence and avidity towards the achievement of your purpose and other personal objectives. A fortnight ago, in the topic, Why Purpose, I said that finding your purpose in life instigates a need to spend both time and money wisely for a higher return of substantive investment of both time and money. In other words, you must first and foremost know the where, that's the destiny of your purpose, in order to know the how. The how is the most effective and efficient way to spend your time. So, without the where, that is your destiny or your purpose, you cannot know the how or the substantive, the most effective and efficient way to spend your time. So, between where you are today and your prospective destiny of purpose is time and how you will spend it. The wiser you spend your time, the shorter your trajectory to your prospective destiny of purpose will become. The poorer you will spend your time, the longer your journey to your prospective destiny of purpose will become. I think those ones are two sentences or contradicting informations that are self-explanatory. The constitutive ability of time effectiveness and efficiency is incumbent on the character of the beholder. In other words, doing the right thing, that's being effective, the right way, that's being efficient, determines both quantity, that's the amount of time you need to achieve your objective or your purpose, and quality, that's the level or the standard of the achievement that you expect. In other words, effectiveness influences quality by ensuring that all your efforts are directed towards your purpose. And on the other hand, efficiency impacts quality by optimizing time resource through utilization for maximum success. So this is a fight between the effectiveness and the efficiency vis-a-vis time in relation to time. The fact that the difference between your present reality and your prospective destiny of purpose is time, and how well you'll manage it or how well you'll spend it makes purpose a common denominator and time a numerator. Let me explain this. Your purpose or objective is the constant underlying foundation. This is the common denominator that gives meaning and direction to your actions. On the other hand, time is the limited resource, the numerator, that must be managed effectively in order to make progress towards fulfilling your purpose or achieving your objective. You know, this takes us back to fraction mathematics, where a common denominator is the determinant of how the numerator will be divisible or will be divided in order to substantiate or to validate the equation or the fraction, sorry. So purpose as a common denominator demands impeccable time management. This demand can only be met through strict adherence to both self-discipline and self-sacrifice. Hence, a true depiction of self-control and validation of the importance of self-discipline and self-sacrifice interdependence relationship. So, the validation of self-discipline and self-sacrifice in matters time can only be done through self-control. In other words, time demands the efficiency and effectiveness of time is dependent on self-sacrifice and self-discipline. The fact that the acquisition of time's constitutive and substantive ability is incumbent on the character of the beholder. The beholder in question must always observe unabated levels of self-discipline and self-sacrifice for efficacy of good time management that will yield the expected desirable outcome. That this person who claims to need time to do something to achieve their goals, their character must be in adherence to self-sacrifice and self-discipline. In other words, the character of time depends on the self-discipline and the self-sacrifice of you as a person. In closing, my claim that time is an universal, an equity that instigates chronometry, equality among humanity can be substantiated by the biblical scriptures in Ecclesiastes 11. I'll repeat that statement. My claim that time is universal is an equity, a universal equity that instigates or that brings about chronometry equality among humanity can only be substantiated biblically by the scriptures that are in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verses 11. I'll go ahead and read the scriptures. I have seen something under the sun. The race is not for the swift, or battle for the strong, nor does food come to the wise, or riches to the brilliant, or favor to the learned. But time, mark here, but time and chance happens to them all. That it doesn't matter, you know, your socio-economic status, political ideologies, and your faith and the like, but time will come to every human being. In short, every human being on earth, on planet earth, gets 24 hours a day. The only difference is how well or how poor you will spend your time. This becomes the determining factor of success. From your 24 hours a day, you have 8 hours to work, 8 hours to rest, and the remaining 8 hours for whatever intended lesson you might have. My question is, how are you spending the unscheduled 8 hours every day? How are you spending your unscheduled 8 hours every day? I implore you to honestly adopt what I call daily life inventory, because it will help you to manage your unscheduled 8 hours, and also to answer this very imperative daily question: what did I achieve in life today? Every day, ask yourself, what did I achieve in my life today? Until next time, please stay safe. Blessings and shalom.